B2W Inform is an enterprise data capture and analysis solution from B2W software. Inform allows you to create an unlimited number of electronic forms that can be published and then filled out from any browser-enabled device, including smartphones and tablets. These forms allow you to create any type of data capture to create solutions for things like safety, inspections, or quality assurance. All the data captured from these forms is then centrally stored in a single database and provides a very powerful and simple to use reporting engine, letting you access that data instantly. Inform also leverages the operations database, so things like employees, jobs, equipment, etc. that are entered into B2W operations are instantly available inside the forms that you create in B2W Inform. To begin using B2W Inform, simply log in from any browser-enabled device. Once users log in, there's a series of granular security and permission settings, so a user would only be allowed to see the areas that they have permissions to access. Templates is where you can create an unlimited number of electronic templates that you could publish to become forms. Users then fill out those forms from any browser-enabled device, a desktop, smartphone, tablet, whatever, and then all the information from those forms is centrally contained in a single database, allowing you to use our built-in reporting engine to report on the data in those forms. We also allow you to create alerts and notifications. So if a certain criteria is hit within a form, users both inside and outside of Inform can be sent an email or text alerting them that something has happened. We'll start in the templates area. Inform gives you a simple user interface to drag and drop and create your own templates. Inside the templates area, I can see draft templates that I'm working on that aren't finished yet, as well as templates that I've published and are now available as forms. The templates creation area is a simple palette that lets you see the form you're building and drag and drop these different types of fields onto the canvas. So I could have something as simple as, say, a heading. I'll drag and drop the heading here, and I'll just say that this is my custom form heading. Notice that I can do things like change the font size, change the font itself, positioning and color, etc. I can now drag and drop and position that heading wherever I want to on the form. In addition to things like headings, on the left I have many different types of fields that I can pull onto the template to become a form. I can have a text box, so users could enter in text when they fill out a form. I also have the ability to create sections, so I can organize the different fields into sections. I can also create drop-downs, where users, when they fill out a form, can simply click on a drop-down and choose an answer. One of the ways that we can really leverage that data inside of operations is within many of these different fields, I could say that the data source itself comes from B2W operations. So rather than manually entering in all the different choices that I want a user to pick from, I could simply say the choices in this drop-down come from the B2W operations database. In this example, I might say that I want the choices to be a list of employees. What that means is anytime I enter a new employee into the B2W operations database, that employee is now instantly available as a choice in any form that needs a list of employees. That dramatically cuts down on the amount of time and effort spent making sure that these lists are the same, because all the elements, including Inform, are now looking at one single central database for their list of data. In addition to things like drop-downs and text box, we can also leverage employee signatures. So you could have an employee sign off on a form using either a mouse if they're filling it out from a desktop, or they can simply use their finger for any touch-enabled screen like a tablet or a smartphone. We also allow you to either embed or upload media. So within the form itself, you could take pictures from a camera, or you could add video. You could also embed pictures and videos so that people could access those when they open the form. So very flexible, many different fields that you can choose to drag and drop and create a template. Next, we'll show you once we publish a template, how it becomes a form and users can fill out that form. Once templates have been created and published, they're now available to fill out as forms. Accessing the Forms area, A user with the permissions to do so would be able to see things like completed forms, pending forms, rejected, and approved, as well as any draft forms they're not finished with yet. To fill out a form, simply click on the Fill Out a Form button, and you'll be presented with any of the forms that you have permissions to use. For our purposes, I'll fill out a simple accident report form. When I fill out the form, I'm given an option to create a form name, as well as give it a group and subgroup. Also know that Inform has a powerful workflow component, so I can require that forms be approved once they're submitted. I can choose my approver and even remember who that approver is for the next time that I go to fill out a form. Now I'm presented with the accident report form, I can simply fill out data. So I'll choose a date and time for the accident. I can say what job the accident occurred on. Now notice this drop-down list is an example of how we can leverage operations data. So this list of jobs is linked to the B2W operations database. So anytime that I add a new job to operations, and that can be used by B2W Track, B2W Schedule, B2W Maintain, as well as B2W Inform. So a single place to enter jobs, employees, account codes, equipment, and leverage them across the platform, including and especially as choices on these forms. So those new entries into the system are updated in real time. No manual synchronizing of data is needed. I'll choose a job. I've also decided to put in this bodily injury choice here. I'm going to choose yes. Later on, when we look at alerts, you'll see how I could trigger an alert to occur by selecting that bodily injury yes. I'll now put in a location. I'll choose an employee who is injured. This list as well is coming from operations, so I know I'm always choosing from the most recent list of employees. I could fill in some additional details down here, and we have the option of putting in both photos. So if I were on a tablet or smartphone, I could connect directly to the camera and take pictures or video. And I also have a place for signature. Even on a desktop, I could use the mouse to sign and then put in my name. But if I were on a tablet or smartphone, I could simply use the touchscreen. When I'm finished filling out the form, I could then submit it, and that immediately sends the data back into the B2W Inform database. B2W Inform also provides a very powerful and simple to use alerts and notifications engine. Using alerts, clients can configure certain events that occur on forms to trigger a text or email message to be sent to the user of their choice. In the alerts area, you can see any alerts that have come in over time, but also configure the alerts that you want to happen. Here I have a few examples. So I have an undocumented utilities alert. I may have a job safety form. If somebody selects that they've detected an undocumented utility, that will send a message to someone. I'm going to go into the accident report with bodily injury here just to show you that what I've done is set up an alert that comes from the accident report that you saw me fill out earlier in the presentation. If somebody fills out within that form that the bodily injury equals yes, the system will send an alert. The alert is configured down here where I could add recipients. So I can add recipients that are either Inform users, but I can also add recipients that are not users inside Inform. I could simply put in their email address and potentially their cell phone number to receive a text or email message. So users that are within Inform would receive both the alert and the ability to access that form. Users outside the system would simply be notified that a form has been filled out with this criteria, and they could then take corrective action of some type. This allows companies to keep other important people in the loop. So legal or human resources or safety officers can know if certain events are happening out in the field in real time. So to see this in action, I've said, again, the accident report, if bodily injury equals yes, send Tom Willie a text message and an email. To show you how alerts and notifications work in practice, I've now brought up on my screen both B2W Inform, and to the right, I'm using AirServer to reflect my cell phone screen. I'll now simply fill out a form. I'll choose to fill out the accident form. Inside this form, as I fill it out, I'm going to choose bodily injury equals yes. Now, when I submit this form, B2W Inform knows that that's a problem and will immediately alert me. And you can see on the right, my cell phone receives a text saying that an accident report with bodily injury was filled out. This allows you to distribute important information instantly to the people who need to know when those events occur out in the field. B2W Inform doesn't just allow you to create an unlimited number of forms to capture data in the field, it also allows companies to leverage that data through real-time reports. Inform has a built-in, powerful reporting engine that allows you to use a graphic user interface to drag and drop and create your own reports. So companies no longer need specialized IT skills for things like SQL report writing or Crystal or Visual Studio. The ability to create reports is built right into the user interface. All users need to know is which forms they want to pull from and how they want the data to look. Going into the reports area, I could run any number of reports. For example, I'll run this accident statistics report. This report is pulling data from all of the accident reports I've filled out using those accident report forms. Now I can see on screen the list of accidents that have occurred, and I've also created a simple graph to show how many accidents per job. This allows clients to choose how they want the data presented and eliminate all the inefficiency caused by paper forms being spread throughout the organization and not being able to access the data that's in those forms. Also know that these accident reports, or really any reports that you generate, can be set up as subscriptions. So reports can be sent to you periodically. You can choose which reports and how often you receive them as emails. Thank you for watching the B2W Inform product overview. Feel free to contact our sales department for additional information and a customized demonstration. Also look for other B2W software product overviews.